his outs there, Vind, a Terminus, and a Dea Judgment with his Thought Scour. We have dual cameras now at Star City Opens. We debuted it in St. Louis. We've had it for a couple Opens now. And it's to give you even more coverage, so we don't even have to move players in the middle of matches. You'll be able to get matches that you otherwise wouldn't have been able to see. And such as this one, with Josh Hakim casting a Gideon Jura. He does have Planeswalker's main deck, I apologize. He has Gideon Jura in the main deck, as well as one Tamiyo the Moon Sage. Gideon is going to get dissipated, though. Oblivion Ring.
Now,
on Talrand.
It's not bad, not bad. It's already gotten in some Drakey damage. But,
yeah, and Josh Hakim's at 1, so I'm not sure what the out here is. I don't know how many lands Josh has off camera.
I think he was just eating up 5 seconds.
I see.
And I would be willing to bet, note the time, 9:23, that we might end up going below 6:23.
That's right.
For the sideboarding. Now it's not how the things should go. So
well, that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes in Magic, because people like to play the game out. They like to make you have to make them kill you. There was a while in my Magic career where I didn't scoop.
I have no problem. Oh, speaking of not scooping, one of the things to remember in Magic, you have the ability to concede at any time.
That's true.
But just because you're going to lose does not mean you're obligated to scoop. And similarly, just because you are not necessarily going to lose doesn't mean it's not more wise to scoop.
That's true.
I mean, your time is a resource that as long as you're not slow playing or doing anything else shady, it's yours to use.
Yep. I remember playing against Carl a couple times in the PTQ circuit in the Midwest. I'm not sure where he's from.
He's from Florida.
Oh, he's from Florida.
I actually think that...
really? Well, I played against him at PTQs in, Pittsburgh.
I played... Well, from what I remember, he moved from Florida, I want to say, to Ohio.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Now, I was surprised to see him. I haven't had a chance to talk to him yet today, but I was surprised to see him playing, and apparently he's moved to New Jersey.
Oh, nice. Excellent. Yeah, Carl Dillahay, I played against a lot during the lower wind block PTQ season, because that was the PTQ season that I did the best in.
I was going to say that. I remember seeing you in top 8s that season.
Yeah, that season I was in. That was my best top 8 conversion rate for PTQs, and Carl is always near the top of whatever tournament he's in, whereas I'm not the case.
Didn't I see you lose to Mike Burnett in the top 4 of a PTQ in Indiana?
That's possible.
Cryptic Command, I remember. It was
I made the top 8 of 5 PTQs that season, maybe 6. I only made the finals of 1 when I lost to Nick Beckfar when Elementals became the popular thing.
Right. And then we've got Delver. That PTQ that I'm thinking of was won by John Stolzman, who is a World Poker Tour bracelet winner.
Yes, I was in that
one. And he is the guy that built the blue-green Infect deck that we saw to have such great success at the Pro Tour not so long ago.
I was in that one. I forgot about that.
Yeah. And Delver is followed up by Augur.
Augur of Bolas. Now, Augur of Bolas was Eli Cassis's choice for the most impressive card in M13. That's not surprising to me, because Eli is mostly a Legacy guy. And this card is clearly just bonkers in Legacy when you have free counterspells, for example.
Timely
reinforcements from Josh Hakim. That is a quite timely card for him.
I mean, that card is so... Oh, what is this?
Flying
Don't be fooled by
fairies.
the black fairies. Those are white soldiers.
And they don't have flying either. Augur also having 3 toughness is incredibly important in several matchups. It's able to block a Strangleroot Geist when you're on the draw. That card's incredibly good.
Patrick was talking about how he likes it as well. I am not on the Augur chain.
Not on the Augur plane?
Yeah.
All right, why is that?
I guess I just have, even in decks that are trying to take advantage of it, I have felt like the 1/3 body is not powerful enough for the 2 mana investment, given the amount of times where I can whiff.
Sure. I think that, okay, well, if you're in a deck and trying to be the aggressor, absolutely you're correct. If you're in one of those matchups where you want to flip the Delver and just beat down and cast Mana Leaks, that's what you want to be doing. But if you're in one of the grindier matchups where Talrand is a thing, the 1/3 body on turn 2, being able to slow down a Strangleroot Geist, being able to throw it under the tires to block a sword from hitting you, is very important.
I
Also,
agree.
it's a 1/3 and it can just pick up a sword. It's very
I
important.
agree that it's solid. I just am not excited by it. There's a lot of
That's
solid
fair.
cards.
That's fair. Silvergill Adept, it is not.
That is a card
This,
I'm
however,
excited about.
well, yeah, Phantasmal
Image.
Image is just a completely
Awesome.
unrealistically bonkers card. Phantasmal Image defining standard for pretty much the length of its duration, all the way back to Todd Anderson's Illusions list, all the way through Mono Blue Delver, and many, many decks in between.
And a 4th land for Josh Hakim.
Yeah, hitting his land drops are very important. I would expect his deck to need to hit pretty much his first 6 land drops, or at least 6 land drops in his first 7 turns. He's got, let's see, 18. He's got 25 lands, which is actually a little light, I think, for a deck like this, although he does have 3 Pristine Talisman.
I would like to see 4 Pristine Talisman. You
I
can
would
never
as well.
play enough Pristine Talismans.
I think that Pristine Talisman in a deck like this is Coalition Relic, and you want to be playing lots of lands and 4 Pristine Talismans.
Yeah. I also think it's Doomblade.
Yeah, well, that's true.
I mean, you put down a Pristine Talisman,
And you
typically
just
it
blank
gains you
one of
like
their
3 or
cards.
4
Yeah.
life. That's like killing a creature.
That's right. And if your opponent's trying to race you and they're like attack you with this 3/2 that you can't block, that's fine. I'll gain 2 life a turn off of these 2 talismans and pretty much be at parity.
Yeah, you're like 15 turn clock, buddy.
Yep.
Nice 3 power creature.
Not very impressive.
Gideon
for
boom.
Josh gets mana leaked.
No, says Carl.
Says Carl.
No, sir.
And he revealed that mana leak, as a matter of fact, to Josh. So perhaps he's setting up something later in the game.
I see a Divine Offering, an old Divine Offering. That looks like a Legends.
It does.
But it's a white border, so it can't be a Legends.
So Chronicles?
Chronicles. That's a Chronicles Divine Offering. You've got a very good bit of card knowledge.
Yeah, for as not great at Magic I have a very good memory of cards. We were playing the Cast and Cost game on the way up to several of the opens, and I usually win about 80% of those just on.
We should do the 20
remembering
questions
cards.
game at some point.
I've played that with Patrick, and it's very frustrating to play that with Patrick because
Patrick
he is
is
so good at
ridiculous.
it. Also, if you ever play that game with Patrick, the first card he always chooses is Smoke or
In-
Valaden War Machine. So
In
just
for 3.
keep that in mind. In for 3 for Carl, taking Josh to 16. Is that all?
Well, Josh has gained life. He's blocked.
That is true. So Josh is going to ponder this for a moment.
Yeah, actually, Patrick Chapin is one of the only players that can consistently beat me at Mental Magic, and actually one of the only players I've ever played in Mental Magic who's beaten me. So, actually,
Wow.
me and Patrick and Mike Flores basically came up with what we called the Pro Tour Standard Mental Magic, which was the set of rules that started being used on the Pro Tour amongst fun players of Mental Magic at the time.
So, such as?
Essentially, cards are unique upon declaration
Yep.
is one of them. Cards that are not on the stack or in play are the card named. Cards
Okay.
have no memory. All of these various
Right,
things.
right,
There's
right.
The particulars of it were not hammered out until we just
You
kept-
guys standardized it.
And
So
you
this
know,
Oblivion Ring is going to probably take out this Insectile Aberration.
yeah, almost certainly.
But it's going to get blinked, which is quite nice.
Oh, there you go. Nice targeting.
So-
you can reset my
Yeah,
insect.
still not great for Josh.
I mean, Josh was
especially-
happy to cast it,
He was, which was a little strange, I believe.
but you know, like
He's
let's
also
see.
the other thing is that he's making Carl put more things on the board. So if he's setting up a terminus or a Day of Judgment, then he's taking care of the mana leak that he knew about. So Josh is going to block the Augur to save the 1 damage, which definitely telegraphs a Wrath effect in Josh's hand. And he's going to go down to 16 from the Angel hit. The Delver did not flip back.
Only one non-flying white soldier in play, creature-wise,
That's right.
for Josh Hakim.
That is not a fairy. No
Do
Bitter
not be
Blossom here.
fooled.
So Josh,
5,
this is
another Gideon?
probably going to be a Gideon or possibly a Tamio.
And yeah, I can't see what it is. It's off screen.
Something is. Oh, Entreat the
Entreats.
Angels was going to be Miracle. I see. And so then it got Snapcaster Mana Leaked. One of the more oppressive combinations.
Now, Carl's deck right now is playing out much like an aggro control deck. He's got clocks, and he's taking away the tempo of Josh Hakim with these plays. The question is, can he hold on long enough?
He drew a Talrand just now, which does not go along with his current plan.
Now, if our clock is correct, and every once in a while it does get out of sync, this will mean that these players are now on turn 0. Josh Hakim
Standing in
could
front
be
of the
just
Delver
trying
Secrets.
to stay alive in order to get the draw.
Yep. Passing the turn back does
This
Carl.
might be turn 1.
In either case, he drops down to 7. He has an Entreat the Angels in his hand, which isn't great, obviously.
Ponder.
Ponder finds is that a Terminus? Trying to see if that's a Terminus on top. If he has a Think Twice in his hand, that Terminus will be very good. Josh decides to keep it. I see several white cards. There's another quite timely reinforcements.
Josh Hakim definitely just trying to stay alive here.
That's right. He goes up to 13 now and puts 3 more certainly not black flying fairies onto the board, I imagine. It's going to be 3 1/1s for Josh Hakim, possibly passing back to Carl Dilhay. We're not sure if they're on turns yet, but we will let you know. It's possible that, yep, there we go.
Turn 2, Sword of War and Peace.
Attached to the Augur of Bolas.
And we do have a Divine Offering here.
Yep, the Divine Offering is certainly going to come
Boom.
down here. Yep.
That is a huge blow. Carl Dillahay.
Tapping
again,
out for that.
If we have the right card counts, or time counts, this is turn 2 of extra turns.
Yes.
And this means that Josh is very close to being dead, but very well could stop it with a single Wrath of God style effect. Day
And
of Judgment,
Carl's tapped out, so-
Terminus. This is his window to try to get the draw.
Yep, he has 3 Day of Judgment. He has another Gideon in his deck. And he has 4 Terminus. Does not look like he drew one of the...
Oh, I see a Gideon in his hand.
There is a Gideon. So
turn
Carl,
3.
On turn 3. So Carl will not have an extra turn.
What
he's
is
going to
this?
destroy a tapped creature, I see.
Murder? I don't know about that. That's
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It could be we have our extra turn counter off here.
Well, the other thing is that if we don't, and this is turn 4, Carl only has 3 power on the board.
But that's doable. You could make that work. You could get a sword. You could get a gut shot.
That's true.
You could have a mutagenic growth. In to you for 3.
Put you to 1, I believe.
Okay. So they do have time left in the round.
There it is. There was a discrepancy in the time. So we have not hit...
Okay, we just had the times off there.
This match, now they're announcing over the loudspeakers that this is time, but the players in the future match had a slight extension. So they will be at time in 14 seconds. Another Snapcaster Mage from Carl with his quote-unquote mono blue Delver deck. Another Gideon for, what was that? Oh, we entreated Angels that got countered, I believe, is what happened. With the Snapcaster Mana Leak, or Snapcaster Dissipates, depending on what's in his graveyard. Or Negate, I suppose, could also be in his graveyard. I could not tell. But in any case, the Entreat the Angels got countered. Everyone needs to come in and attack Gideon, dropping him down to 1. And we are now in extra turns.
So is this
officially.
turn 0?
I believe that this is turn 0. I may have miscounted, However, I believe that this is turn 0. So Phantasmal Image for Carl. So he's going to take the Gitaxian Probe off of this Phantasmal Image of an Augur of Bolas.
Entreat. Does it work?
Well, that's what was Gitaxian Probed.
Oh, okay. He's showing it. Got it, got it, got it. Okay. They are not even in extra turns yet. They've got a little bit of time still.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, the players in the feature match area have extensions. We were unfamiliar with how much time. Oh, there we go. So yeah, that's more
accurate.
That's more like what we were expecting. Players in the feature match area take a little while to set up. And to get them on camera. So.
And I think we're going to see a hard cast Entreat here.
I agree. This is going to be 3 angels if there's a land off screen. If he plays it. So it'll just be 2 angels. For Josh Hakim. 2 angels come down. Those are angels this time.
Yeah, they're not. Don't be fooled by these little fairies. Those are angels.
Right. I wonder what Josh does when he casts Timely Reinforcements and has those tokens in play when he also casts and Entreat the angels.
Oh, he doesn't do that.
Game. Oh my, we whiffed with our Augur for the first time, putting 2 lands and another Restoration Angel on the bottom. Next card is a Phyrexian mana spell of some kind. Looks like a Mutagenic Growth, possibly.
Remember, these creatures have to attack Gideon.
Yes. And Josh has 8 Power of Gaias on the board. So he has lots of options here, although Carl's putting a lot of pressure on this Gideon. I imagine this Gideon is just going to die. But it's not a... it won't be in vain, because Josh will be able to take out Restoration Angel and Snapcaster Mage, leaving...
I think what we might see, though, is Mutagenic Growth. Oh, never mind.
Nope. Well, it might not have been a Mutagenic Growth. It might have been a Mental Misstep also.
Okay.
Carl runs 2 Mental Misstep, 2 Mutagenic Growth, and 2 Gut Shot, in addition to 4 Gitaxian Probe.
Oh, there's a Talrand.
There's Talrand. So now, if he casts his Phyrexian mana spells, he will be getting Drakes out of them. Not quite as big as Angels, but 2 Drakes will do the trick.
Land for Josh Hakim.
And a pass.
And we see a Snapcaster, it looks like. The foils are making Carl's hand. Are all of his cards foil?
I believe so.
I can't tell. Maybe the image
well,
is
some
not.
of them aren't. It looks like the Augur, the Image, the Talrand aren't. But a lot of these cards that have been in the deck longer than the M13 cards, or have been in the main deck much more often, such as Gitaxian Probe, which is getting...
And Josh's only card in hand, Divine Offering.
Yeah, not great. So Josh is going to flashback, think twice, it looks like. See if he can find a miracle. A Drake
knocks the table. Let's see what happens.
And it's a land.
And that is all she wrote.
And Carl Dillahay is going to defeat Josh Hakim 2-1 with quote-unquote mono blue Delver, or Talrand Delver, against Josh Hakim's blue-white Miracles.
Okay.
So, Nationals top 8 competitor, Carl Dillahay, among the very skilled players in today's field, moving to, I believe, X1, although I'm not sure on that. We have several very good players who are still at X1, including Kurt Crane.
Who's Kurt Crane?
Kurt Crane is the guy that you saw in round 2 playing green-white elf ball.
Oh, yeah!
Columbus, Ohio native. That's why I know him.
That's why you know him. He seems like a really good guy.
He's a really good guy. He's very talented. He and another Columbus player named Eric Wagstaff are both very good. Eric has actually had a lot better results recently. He has day 2'd every Grand Prix he's gone to, except for his very first one. He also made the finals of like 3 Star City Opens in the last like 3 months.
Cool.
He's pretty ridiculous. Kurt has a little bit less time on his hands. He's got like a real boy job. You know what I mean? So, but
What are those?
I actually don't know what Kurt does, but he's. I tell you what he's doing today is he's hoofing people.
Right.
I've been telling him. I don't know if he's done it yet. He's got one Crater Hoof Behemoth in his deck. Whenever he draws it, apparently in the first round when he was going to Genesis Wave for 6 or something, and instead he drew the Crater Hoof Behemoth and just went and put it on the board. And I was like, you did that with the hoof, so you're like,
Right.
So I want him every time he plays the Crater Hoof Behemoth to go and like hit the table with his hoof. It'd be very funny to me. I don't know if he's done it, but
He's laughing over there.
Yeah, there we go. I want him to do it, but
maybe we'll see it before the finals.
you know what? He won his last round.
X and 1 now.
I think he has to. If he wins his next round, I believe he can draw in.
Right.
So we might put him on camera next round.
I hope
He's
so.
got a very popular deck. People are all over Twitter about it.
Right.
And it's it's the closest thing we've got to a combo deck in Standard. We saw in round 2 when he played Genesis, or when he tapped all his mana, played a Village Bellringer, untapped it all, played Restoration Angel, untapped it all, played Genesis Wave, got another Bellringer, untapped it all.
Which
and
was
just
awesome.
Let the engine
totally
keep going.
awesome when that happens.
Yeah, it was great.
And the thing is, I think the deck does that often enough.
Yes.
And when it doesn't do it, it still does
It's
good
still
things.
just an aggro deck.
Yeah.
Sure. And the wide variety of decks that are doing well, we've seen a mono black zombies deck doing well, or mono black control deck doing well, I should say. Green white elf ball doing well. Obviously, different variants of Delver. Lots of bonfire decks. I mean, the things that you can do in this currently right now are absurd.
Right.
It's a very free metagame.
We are going to come back to you as soon as we can with round 8. Only 2 rounds left. Next round, the penultimate round. I'm Adrian Sullivan with Ruben Bressler. See you soon.